Can you hear
Yes.
me? Can you
Yes.
see me?
Yes. 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 Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If any audio issue, just try to log out and log in from that browser from which you are connecting. Okay, let me start the session. So today we'll try to understand some more basic part for Odata services. We'll try to understand some basics by creating one Odata ABAP service project. And we'll try to create an entity type and entity set. And we'll try to generate runtime artifacts. We are not doing any example today, but we are going to understand the process and the basics and the background details of what is what when we create Odata service. And we'll try to understand the importance of MPC class, then importance of DPC class, and importance of DPC extension class. So mostly we'll try to cover these things, understand the basics. So let me write step-by-step procedure here. So this is to create Odata ABAP service project. Okay, step one, you can log in to SAP backend server. Today you'll get the details. And then you can open SEGW. That's a T code I've already highlighted. It's like a tool. And you can click on create. Okay, let me connect to that backend. So SEGW is a T code here. That is Gateway Service Builder. And here you can see there is open option and create option. Open is to open existing projects. So there's an open option that is to open your previous projects or existing projects from this. In our case, we'll try to create one new project here. So there's a create option, first icon left side. Let me click on create. And we'll try to create one Odata project. For example, 10 a.m., something like this. Odata project. This is just for testing purpose. You can provide some description here. And in real time, you can save it in package. That is useful for transportation. So here I'm trying to save it locally, but in real time, save it in package. So just project name and description, that is enough here, and save locally. Don't disturb other settings. Now you'll get these 4 folders, which I've explained yesterday. Data model, implementation, artifacts, and maintenance. So every project in SEGW contains these options. Okay, just click on create icon, then just provide project name and some description. And save in package or local, then just continue. So that's a simple process to create Odata project. And at this stage, I can say Odata service project generates 4 folders. That's what we have discussed yesterday. One is like data model, service implementation, runtime artifacts, and service maintenance. So these 4 folders which we have discussed yesterday, those things will be generated by following this procedure in SCGWT code. Click on create, provide project name, some description, and then save it. Then you'll get these 4 folders. Now we'll try to understand how to create entity type and entity set. So here, inside data model, we can create entity type and entity sets here. In a project, in data model, there are several options, but we'll try to create these 2 things for today. Entity types and entity sets. Associations and other options we'll discuss later. Don't worry, at right time we'll cover that topic. So I want to create now entity type and entity sets. So as I told you yesterday, entity type is technically like it is to maintain collection of fields. With data type and length. The purpose of entity type, according to yesterday's session, it is just to maintain collection of fields with the data type and length. And entity set technically contains collection of records at runtime. You can hold collection of records at runtime with the help of entity set. This is to maintain collection of fields. This is to hold collection of records. So how to create this entity type and entity set? So both can be created simultaneously at a time. In your data model, these options can be created. One is to maintain collection of fields, another is to maintain collection of records at runtime. Okay, let me put it here. Now let us create those things. So here you can see this data model. You can right click and import from DDIC structure. I want to take the fields and import into Odata service. I want to take fields from S11 data dictionary and I want to import into Odata service project. So we can use this, very commonly used. And within this DDIC structure, there are different categories here. You can import fields from database table. You can import fields from views. You can import fields from structures and BAPI related structures. Okay, so let me just take this. So with the help of DDIC structure, we can import fields from database tables. We can import fields from structures. We can import fields from views of S11, and we can import fields from BAPI related structures. all these things are possible with the DDIC structure option. Okay, let me just highlight here. So inside data model, you can import from DDIC structure, and DDIC structure supports all these options here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll try to import fields from database table. The same procedure is applicable for all these options. So let me try with database table here. I want to import the fields from existing database table from S11. Let me save this. Okay, so you can right click here, import from DDIC structure. Then you'll get this screen. Here you need to provide entity type, and you need to select checkbox to create entity set simultaneously. So in my case, let me provide entity type, for example, EMP. They're creating entity type. Don't worry about other options. So here you can see ABAP structure. I can provide a database table name here. Or we can provide a view. We can provide a structure or BAPI related structure. All these options are applicable here. So let me provide database table, for example, ZEMP table. That's one of the table available in S11. You can import that table fields. And here there is a checkbox to create entity set. So what happens is technically so entity type will be created as EMP here, and ABAP structure we are providing database table. ABAP structure, that's a database table for importing the fields. And then we are also creating entity set here. So that entity set becomes automatically EMP set here. Entity type is EMP. Entity set becomes EMP set. Entity type, if it is XYZ here, then entity set will be created automatically as XYZ SCT. So in our case, it is EMP. So it will be created as EMP set. If you want, you can change it at later point of time, but let us stick to this naming convention. Okay, so here we are providing entity type name. And here database table name. And we are also selecting checkbox to create entity set. Okay, let me click next here. And meanwhile, let me write the procedure. So just right click data model. Import from DDIC structure. Provide entity type name. For example, EMP. In this case, ABAP structure, we are using ZEMP table. That's technically a database table. Then select checkbox to create entity set. In this case, entity set becomes EMP set. and just click next here. So when you click next, you can see you're able to get the list of fields from the database table here. After providing entity type name, database table name, after selecting checkbox, if you click next here, you will get the fields from the database table, ZEMP table. There are some fields like user ID, first name, last name, email ID, country, salary, phone. So you can select required fields or you can select all fields. Whichever fields are necessary, you can select it. Or you can select all the fields. So select, in this case, I'm selecting all the fields. Then you can click next here. Now what happens is when you create an entity type, at least one field must be key field. Otherwise, you will not be able to proceed further. So at least one field must be a key field inside an entity type. That's a rule. So let me select user ID as a key field here. There is a checkbox, you can select it. You can have more than one key field, but at least one is mandatory. So let me select user ID as a key field. Okay, let me take this screenshot. So here, in an entity type, at least one key field must be enabled. At least one key field must be enabled. It's mandatory. So I've selected user ID as a key field. You can click finish here. Then it will create this entity type and entity set in our data model. Now you can see when you save it, you'll get all the fields inside data model. Okay, you can see now it's saved. So this is entity type EMP here. Entity type EMP with database table structure ZEMP table. But this EMP entity type contains collection of fields here. These are the collection of fields here. User ID, first name, last name, email ID, country, salary, phone. These are the fields imported from database table into Odata service. Fields are imported from database table to Odata service. And this is an entity set, that is EMP set here. That's created. EMP is entity type, EMP set is entity set. You can see this now. So properties in Odata service, we can call this as the list of fields here in general. Entity type properties means entity type fields technically. Don't get confused here. So select at least one field as key field. Example, in our case, we've selected user ID. Then click finish. Save it. So now this is a procedure to create entity type and entity set. So because of that, you'll be able to get it here. Two options. And when you select properties, you'll get this list of fields which are imported from backend tables. You can see that. Now, if you want to create multiple, more than one entity type, more than one entity set, that is possible. I want to create more than one entity type, more than one entity set, just to make you understand the basics. So that is possible. You can follow the same procedure here. Okay, so let me create one more so that I can make you understand the basics. So right click data model, import from DDIC structure. For example, this time I'm selecting flight as entity type. I want to import fields from one standard BAPI structure, BAPI SFLDAT. It's a BAPI related standard structure. And I want to create entity set. So select checkbox. You can click next here. And you can get the list of fields from that particular BAPI structure. So it contains several fields here. So let me select some of the fields here. Or you can select all the fields, it doesn't matter. And you can click next. So at least one field is key field. So let me make airline ID as key field. Then you can finish. Now second entity type and second entity set will be created. And the fields are imported here. You can also see that. The second entity type flight, second entity set flight set, they're generated here. So if you expand these properties of flight, then you'll get list of fields with data type and length. There's a field name, data type and length. And which field is key field, that's also available. So basically these are the fields that are imported from BAPI related standard structures. So the same procedure is applicable. You can create a number of entity types, a number of entity sets here. So let me write a simple note. If required, we can create multiple entity types and multiple entity sets in same Odata project. But there is one basic thing that you need to understand here. Okay, let me go to that S11. So we have imported fields from one of the standard structure. Let me open that. So here BAPI SFLDAT. BAPI SFLDAT is one of the standard structure here. Let me open that. So you can see it contains the fields with ABAP data types like char data type, numc data type, DATS, TIMS, DEC decimal, and you can see currency CUKY. So at ABAP level, a database table or a BAPI standard structure contains ABAP data types here for those fields. Airline ID with CAD data type. Airline CAD data type. Connect ID is with numc data type. Flight date with DATS. And departure time, that is TIMS. Price DEC, decimal data type here. So at ABAP level, database table and BAPI structure contains ABAP data types here. But when the fields are imported to Odata service, here you can see the data types are converted to OData data types like EDM string, EDM date and time, EDM time data type, EDM decimal. So ABAP data types are converted to EDM OData data types here when the fields are imported. ABAP data types are automatically converted to EDM data types. That means OData data types for those fields. They're equivalent data types. The conversion will take place automatically. So the point here is when fields are imported from ABAP to OData, then ABAP data types are automatically converted to equivalent OData EDM data types. There won't be any loss of data because it will be converted to equivalent EDM OData data types here. So let me just put it like this: ABAP side and OData side. Let me take this screenshot first. So let us make this left side. So this is like, for example, I've taken BAPI SFL DAT structure. The fields are imported from this structure. These are the fields, and these are the ABAP data types here for those fields. Okay, let me take this screenshot as well. Okay, let us make it like this. So here, so this is at OData, this is at ABAP level, left side. This is at ABAP side, and this is at OData level. So what is happening here is, you can see CAD data type for airline ID. In ABAP, it is converted to airline ID with EDM dot string data type. But airline ID CAD data type is converted to airline ID with EDM dot string data type here. Similarly, airline with CAD data type, again, it's converted to airline with EDM dot string. And not only that, here you can see connect ID. Connect ID with numC data type is converted to EDM dot string. numC is also converted to EDM dot string. And then there is a DATS data type here. For flight date, DATS is a data type. But it is converted to flight date EDM dot date time data type in OData service. Similarly, departure time, TIMS is a data type here. It's converted to EDM dot time data type. You can see this. And similarly, there is a DEC data type, decimal, I think. So ABAP side DEC, it's converted to EDM dot decimal in OData service. CUKY, that's a currency related data type, but it's converted to EDM dot string. So whenever you import the fields, when you import fields from ABAP side to OData service level, then ABAP data types are converted to EDM dot data types. That means OData related equivalent data types. Okay, so here left side, let me put it like ABAP side. But when the fields are imported, the data types are converted into Odata EDM data types. EDM means entity data model. Okay, so here, let me write it like this. So at ABAP side, if it is DEC data type, it is converted to EDM.string. If it is TIMS, it is converted to EDM.time data type. If it is DATS, ABAP side, it's converted to EDM.date time data type. If it is NumC data type, in ABAP, it is converted to EDM.string data type. CHER, CAD data type, it's converted to EDM.string. Int4 is one of the data type, it will be converted to EDM.int32. 4 bytes into 8 bits, 32 bits here. 4 into 8, 32. So here, raw string data type, in ABAP, it is converted to EDM.binary. So ABAP data types are converted to equivalent OData data types here. So EDM stands for entity data model. EDM is technically entity data model. That means OData related data types. So let me save the screenshot here. So this is one basic point you need to remember whenever the fields are imported from ABAP to OData service. Data type conversions will take place automatically. Now, what I want to do is, I want to generate runtime artifacts to understand some more basics. Okay, let us do that here. Step-by-step procedure to generate runtime artifacts. I want to generate some list of classes so that we can understand some classes and we can redefine the methods and we can implement some methods. That is how we proceed. But how to do that? Let me just show that basics. Now we are back to data model here, but what to do is select your project folder. You can save it after creating entity type and entity set, but just select Odata project and you can click on red color icon here. You can see this. So there is an option. When you select project and when you click on this red color icon, it will generate runtime artifacts.